Joining me now is Congressman George Miller of California. Congressman, great to have you with us tonight. If we can start from this position, the Republicans say that the Democrats will not negotiate. What does that mean to you?
It means they're living in a dream world. It means they're living in denial of everything President Obama has tried to do to negotiate. It means that they deny the fact that we've come down on the continuing resolution budget number from 998 to 996. It means that they refuse to put their budget into play to see if we can negotiate. They were so proud of their budget when they passed it months and months ago, and yet they refused to go to a conference committee with the Senate to work out the differences between the budget in the Senate and the budget in the House. So they wanted to stay away from any resolution of this issue in any place.
Aren't they putting the Democrats in a defensive position, though? The law is the law. Health care is here to stay. They've used this as the bargaining chip to open the door to a greater discussion about debt limit and, of course, the grand bargain, which they want, which will go after the big three. I mean, this is where I see it evolving. Your thoughts?
Well, I think it shows how out of touch with reality they are. The Affordable Care Act has left the station. Hundreds of thousands of people all across the country, millions of people, in fact, across the country, are trying to find out how they can get the benefits of the Affordable Care Act for their families, for themselves, for their employees, and that's the fact. Said was they were prepared to burn down the House to stop the Affordable Care Act. That didn't happen, but now they keep trying to bring it back into the negotiations. They still want to overturn it. They want to repeal it. They want to nullify it. They have lost touch with reality, except that they're holding our economy hostage as they lose touch with reality.
Do you take issue with what Boehner says? If he puts it on the floor, would the CR have the votes?
I think the CR would have the votes, a clean CR, because we know there's 20 to 22 to 23 Republicans out there that have said that they want to support that effort. So he's misrepresenting his caucus. He's going back and sticking with the Tea Party faction of his caucus, even though they're a minority. He's empowering them.
All right, Congressman, you said this last week. Here it is.
The gentleman from Montana yesterday came to the floor and said it's hurting the local economy. The gentleman from California came and said the towns around Yosemite. Was he thinking about that when he voted originally to shut down the government? He was prepared to sacrifice the local economy. He was prepared to sacrifice the towns around Yosemite when he was on a jihad against American citizens getting access to health care.
You regret those words at all, Congressman?
Not at all. What they were doing was saying that unless you were prepared to repeal the Obamacare, they were prepared to shut down the government of the United States and to put the economy into a tailspin and even threaten the debt limit of this country. And the point was this. They've since and tried to relieve the pressure around the National Institutes of Health, trying to make sure that they didn't know that they were going to be denying food to newborn, low birth weight babies. So the point of the matter is they thought it was simple to shut down the government. And all of a sudden they had to focus on the reality, and the reality is very tough for them. So now they're trying to do a patchwork opening of the government. Why don't they sit down, pass a clean CR until November 15th? We have 200 Democrats that were going to sign that CR, bring us 18 Republicans, and do your negotiations, but don't do it by holding the government hostage or the recipients of government services hostage.
Congressman, what are the chances of a discharge petition?
Well, the fact is every discharge petition that's had 218 signatures has been brought to the floor. And the fact is in many instances, discharge petitions with less than a majority have been brought to the floor. We have 200 Democrats ready to rock and roll over this next week and signing a discharge petition. We know that there's 22 Republicans out there who've told us personally that they want this over with, that they want to get a bipartisan effort going. We're making this opportunity available to them, and we hope that they will join us in that effort, and we can restore the economic growth in this economy, and we can restore sanity to the government.
And who's the best Democrat to knock on Republican doors to get that done in the House?
We all have different relations, and we've all been talking to them, and they've been talking to us.
And you think it's a chance? You think it's a real possibility?
Those votes are there if the leadership will free them.
Okay.
That's the test.
Congressman George Miller, great to have you with us tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.